Hello, my name is Aaron Pena and I teach 8th grade math and algebra in the Title I school. This presentation synthesizes two research-based readings on tracking and ability labeling. I will reference key quotes, explain why they stood out to me, and then show how the combined ideas inform my teaching practices. Let's dive in. So first, the purpose of this presentation is to synthesize how both articles together explain why tracking matters, not only instructionally, but emotionally, and how this should inform everyday teaching decisions. The first quote was from NCTM, which states students who are labeled low are frequently subjected to rote memorization and drills, while students deemed high are most likely to have opportunities for creative, open ended problem solving, which is found in page 2. So, the reason why this stood out to me was because it matches what I have seen in 8th grade. Students perceived as lower often get less cognitively demanding work. NCTM helps me see that this is not about ability, but access to opportunity. Um, Not just in 8th grade, but I know I have a big issue with 6th and 7th grade as well, particularly in my campus. I am, even though I teach the algebra in the 8th grade, I am the 7th grade math leader. And so something that I speak to my team is even though you have special education and these students, sure, they're in a regular class and not your advanced class, they should still be performing at a high rigor level, right? And so, yes, we'll struggle to get there, but you need to be scaffolding for these students, doing more hands-on activities, rich activities. Don't just pen and paper, notes, and just like drill and kill. That can be part of it, but it can't be the whole thing. Like it can't be the entire lesson. So that's something that I'm emphasizing. I've gone into classrooms and I've done, just practice or not practice, but model teaching for my teachers, so that they're aware that yes, they're very capable, but you need to be able to acknowledge their cultural experiences and bring that into the classroom. So I allow for them to explain things in their own way. And then from there, I build up on it into mathematical vocabulary. That is what they're expected. Again, we start scaffolding, and so it's work in progress for them. And so this particular quote really stood out to me. Um, The next one was many curricular assessments and instructional practices reproduce stratification, labeling students, their strategies, and the learning opportunities they should receive on a scale from remedial to sophisticated. This one was found on page 3. So this made me reflect on how pacing guides and benchmarks data can quietly lock students into tracks. It challenges me to use data as a tool for instruction, not prediction, which I actually, that's something again that I emphasize that yeah, sure, we have to do benchmarking and all this for the district, but I'm not concerned about the data in that sense, like, oh, because I know my students, right? And so it's not about the labeling. I really don't care about the labeling. I care about the growth over time for them. And so I use that as a growth mindset versus locking students into a particular group. So like, for example, my tutoring plan is not set to particular students. It's set to, okay, how are they doing over time? Do I need to start bringing some in? Maybe some of the higher kids perform low, so I need to bring those in. So it's ever changing, and I feel like that has been remarkable in my experience for my kids. I know, like I said, teammates come ask me, or how are you doing this? Because you tend to score high, your data, and it's because I don't see students as just a one size fit all. Like it's ever changing, um, and so if you adopt that mindset, things just fall into place. The third quote was shame becomes humiliation when a negative judgment of an individual or group is publicly affirmed, leading to what Sayer called structural humiliation. This one was found in page 465, again from the Pomeroy article. This quote helped me understand that emotional consequences of tracking. In middle school, labels become identities, shaping who feels confident or capable in math, and that is. It's very true because they know that the kids are not dumb. They completely understand, oh, I'm a low student, I tend to score low, and so, this is why I'm where I'm at. But if you have those open conversations with your students about why it's important to track data and not about labeling, but to celebrate the growth that we have of understanding, or the concepts over time, it sort of shifts that narrative of, oh, I'm low always, versus, sir, I grew and I'm like super excited. And so it builds that intrinsic motivation that a lot of our apathetic students are missing nowadays. And again, that's something that I've seen because I've made those adjustments over time. So synthesizing the research, seeing these ideas together help me understand that instructional access and students' identity are inseparable. Tracking is harmful because it shapes both what students learn and who they believe they are in math, right? And so that's not what we want to do. And again, I'm focusing on math because that's what I teach. Um, so implications for my teaching practices include flexible topic-based grouping, same high-level tasks for all students, data used for support, not labels, and intentional protection of student dignity. So detracking in my classroom means tracking learning over time, not ranking students. I will use formative data to guide instruction while ensuring all students access rich mathematics, right? Which is, again, it's the end goal. And finally, my final reflection includes tracking is not neutral when placement determines access and identity, instructional and emotional harm occur together. So together, the readings reinforce that detracking requires intentional instructional and relational design. My goal is to create a classroom where all student experiences challenge, they belong, and they create opportunities for my students. So, and then of course here is the references. It's our two articles. I really appreciated these two articles because it makes me feel good that I believe I'm on the right track when it comes to tracking versus just creating groups and then locking those in for tutoring or whatnot for the classroom. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.